This could be gold, it could be silver, it could be copper. Either way, it's a great sounding signal.
There's something buried on Oak Island, and it's not pirate treasure. We're going to show you the evidence that points to something far more profound. Forget the stories you've heard. We have finds that connect this small Canadian island to the Knights Templar, a cross made of ancient French lead, a stone roadway built in the swamp in 1200 AD, and now, water samples from the Money Pit are showing massive deposits of silver. This is not a legend anymore. This is a real-life mystery unfolding right now, and the latest finds are so incredible you have to see them to believe them. Many people are crazy about this island for a reason. The swamp gives up its secrets. For decades, the triangle-shaped swamp on Oak Island was seen as a messy, natural obstacle, a place where searchers lost equipment and hope. But not all things are what they seem. The late treasure hunter Fred Nolan was obsessed with it, convinced it was man-made. Many people thought he was crazy, but it turns in the end, he was right. The most groundbreaking discoveries in recent years haven't come from the famous Money Pit, but from the dark, murky waters of this very swamp. And what the team found there has completely rewritten the timeline of the entire Oak Island mystery. After a massive draining operation, something impossible began to emerge from the mud. A stone-paved area. This wasn't a random collection of rocks, it was a carefully constructed feature, a wharf or a roadway stretching over a significant distance.
I don't think it's possible to stand and look at that stone road and not think that this had to have a special purpose.
You see, a discovery like this is a huge deal. Building something so substantial in what was then a remote and wild part of the world would have required a massive amount of manpower, engineering skill, and resources. Who would do that, and why? The team knew they had something big, but they had no idea how big until the carbon dating results came in. A piece of wood found directly associated with the stone structure was dated to around 1200 AD. Let that sink in. That's more than 200 years before Columbus set sail. It places the construction firmly in the medieval period, the era of the Crusades and the Knights Templar. This single discovery blew every previous theory out of the water. Suddenly, the idea of pirates burying treasure in the 1700s seemed almost quaint. This was evidence of a major organized operation on Oak Island hundreds of years earlier than anyone ever imagined. The paved area is estimated to be over 70 feet long and at least 15 feet wide, an astonishing feat of engineering for its time. Think about it, a crew of men far from home quarrying and moving tons of stone to build a road in a swamp. The sheer scale of the work is a wow factor in itself. It suggests they were moving something incredibly heavy, something that needed a solid, stable path to its destination. Maybe to the Money Pit? And the swamp wasn't done yet. Near the paved area, another stunning artifact was unearthed, a hand-forged spike that was also dated to the medieval era.
This is a typical rock stake. This one was used repeatedly. You can see how the head is very well mushroomed.
Then came another piece of the puzzle. At the swamp's edge, Dr. Ian Spooner, a geoscientist, identified what looked like a stone wall, which turned out to be a wharf-like structure. This feature was entirely contained within the swamp, reinforcing the shocking idea that the entire swamp isn't a natural feature at all, but was dug out and engineered by the depositors. But why go to all that trouble? The working theory is that the swamp was created to hide something on a massive scale, perhaps even a ship. Imagine sailing a vessel into a custom-made enclosure, sinking it, and then flooding the area to hide it from the world forever. The scale of that ambition is staggering. These aren't the actions of common pirates. This is the work of a group with immense power, wealth, and a secret big enough to bury on the other side of the world. The discoveries in the swamp have become the new heart of the Oak Island mystery, shifting the focus from just a single hole in the ground to a massive island-wide engineering project. The evidence is clear. Someone was here, long before the history books tell us they should have been, and they were doing something of incredible importance. But what they left behind was even more definitive than a road, a cross of ancient lead. Before the swamp revealed its medieval secrets, another find at a spot called Smith's Cove had already sent shockwaves through the treasure hunting community. Smith's Cove has always been a key part of the mystery. It's believed to be the location of the ingenious flood tunnels, a booby trap designed to protect whatever lies in the money pit. For years, the team worked to hold back the ocean with a massive cofferdam, and during that painstaking excavation, metal detection expert Gary Drayton got a signal. What he pulled from the soil was a simple yet profoundly mysterious object, a lead cross. At first glance, it was an intriguing find, but its true significance was yet to be understood. The cross was crude in its design, heavy, and clearly very old. It had a square hole at the top, suggesting it might have been affixed to something, perhaps a book or a chest. But the real story was locked inside the metal itself. The team sent the cross for advanced analysis to determine its age and origin. The results that came back were nothing short of breathtaking. Geochemist Tobias Skowronek determined the lead was not from North America. The isotopes in the metal were a perfect match for lead mined in southern France. That alone was a huge revelation.
It's a cross.
That's a cross.
But then came the bombshell. The analysis showed the cross was manufactured sometime before the 15th century. This artifact, found on a small island off the coast of Canada, was made in medieval Europe. This wasn't just a random trinket dropped by a sailor, this was a direct link. A physical piece of evidence connecting Oak Island to the Old World centuries before the official age of exploration. The thing nobody tells you is how rare a find like this truly is. Pre-Columbian artifacts of European origin are almost unheard of in North America. This cross is one of the most significant ever found. The location of the cross in southern France immediately brought one group to mind, the Knights Templar. This powerful and wealthy order of warrior monks was brutally suppressed in the early 1400s, and legends have persisted for centuries that they smuggled their immense treasure and sacred relics out of Europe to a secret location. Southern France was a Templar stronghold. Could this cross have belonged to a Templar knight who made a secret voyage to Oak Island? The cross suddenly looked less like a simple religious icon and more like a marker, a signpost left by those who made the journey. Adding to the intrigue, the cross was found near another incredible discovery at Smith's Cove, a U-shaped wooden structure. Dendrochronology, the science of tree ring dating, placed the construction of this structure around 1771, just before the money pit was discovered. This slipway or wharf proves that there was major activity on the island before the story of the treasure hunt even begins. It was another layer to the puzzle, showing that Oak Island has a complex, multi-layered history of secret operations. But the lead cross remains the most personal and evocative link to the past, a tangible connection to the mysterious depositors who risked everything to cross an ocean and bury their secret. But the cross wasn't the only massive stone marker on the island. Nolan's Cross. Long before the current team brought their advanced technology to Oak Island, a man named Fred Nolan, a surveyor and landowner, made a discovery using little more than his own 2 feet and a brilliant mind. Nolan spent decades exploring the island and was convinced that the key to the mystery wasn't just buried underground, but was written on the landscape itself. He identified a series of large, strategically placed boulders that formed the shape of a giant cross, stretching over 800 feet in length. This formation became known as Nolan's Cross. For years, many people dismissed it. But as the Lagina brothers and their team began to uncover more evidence, they took a second look at Nolan's work. They realized this wasn't a natural formation. The boulders, some weighing several tons, were deliberately placed. But why? Was it a massive symbol, a marker visible from the sky? Or was it something more? The team brought in experts who suggested Nolan's Cross was a complex geometric survey marker, a map made of stone. The theory is that the cross isn't just a symbol, but a precise pointer. Using complex geometry and measurements, some researchers believe the lines of the cross converge on a single vital location: the original money pit. The sheer scale of Nolan's Cross is hard to comprehend. Imagine the effort required to move these massive boulders into such precise alignment. This was not a weekend project. This was a feat of engineering that would have required immense planning, coordination, and an advanced understanding of surveying and geometry. It's another piece of evidence that points away from disorganized pirates and towards a highly sophisticated group.
My money pit location It's just west of the garden shaft.
Some theorists, like Brian Farrow, have even argued that the dimensions of the cross are based on sacred geometry, using specific numbers and ratios that were important to ancient Christian builders and secret societies like the Freemasons and the Knights Templar. He found that measurements within the cross, when converted from feet to inches, repeatedly matched numbers like 144 and 288, numbers with deep historical and religious significance. This adds a whole new layer of mystique to the island. It suggests that the creators of the Oak Island mystery weren't just engineers. They were scholars, perhaps even mystics, embedding their work with codes and symbols. Nolan's Cross is a silent testament to their incredible knowledge and ambition. It's a structure that has been hiding in plain sight for centuries, a giant stone arrow pointing the way for those who knew how to read the signs. It challenges us to think differently about the mystery, to look at the entire island as one giant interconnected puzzle box. It's a wow factor that makes you realize the creators of this mystery were operating on a level of genius that is almost beyond belief. But the most famous clue of all was found deep underground. Silver in the water. We end where it all began, the money pit. For 225 years, this is the spot that has captured the world's imagination. A hole in the ground that has defied every attempt to unlock its secrets. But in the 21st century, the search for treasure has gone high-tech. Instead of just digging, the team is now using advanced science to peek beneath the ground. And the results have been the most exciting in the history of the hunt. Geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner came up with a brilliant idea. Test the water flowing through the complex network of tunnels and boreholes around the money pit. His theory was that if there was a large deposit of precious metal underground, trace elements would leach into the groundwater. He began taking samples, and the initial results were astonishing. The water flowing from deep within the money pit area showed incredibly high concentrations of silver. This wasn't just a trace amount, it was a signal so strong that it could only mean one thing. There is a very large amount of silver dissolving into the water just a short distance from their main shaft.
What do you think of that beauty?
Got some weight to it.
So what is it?
It's a cut coin.
How much silver? Dr. Spooner has gone on record saying the data is consistent with a dump truck amount of the precious metal. The concentration levels are hundreds of times higher than what you would find in naturally occurring water. There is no natural explanation. The silver is man-made, and it's down there right now. This discovery is arguably the single most important piece of evidence ever found. It's the chemical proof that has been sought for over 2 centuries. While old timbers and bits of coconut fiber are tantalizing clues, the presence of massive amounts of silver is hard evidence of treasure. But it also raises new questions. Why silver and not gold? Historically, silver was often used to pay large armies or navies. It was the currency of war and conquest. Was a massive payroll buried on the island? Or is the silver protecting something even more valuable? This scientific breakthrough has re-energized the entire operation. They are no longer searching based on legend and hope. They are following a clear scientific signal. They know the treasure is real and they know approximately where it is. But the thing is, getting to it is still the most dangerous and difficult part of the puzzle. The money pit is booby-trapped with flood tunnels that have defeated searchers for generations. But now, with a clear target, the team is more determined than ever. They are on the verge of solving the mystery, of finally revealing what lies at the bottom of the money pit. And it all came from a few simple vials of water. This leads us to the final, lingering questions. We have all this evidence: a medieval roadway, a Templar cross, a giant stone map, and now a chemical signature of treasure. But what does it all mean when you put it together? So, is Oak Island the site of a lost Templar treasure? Or is it something even more profound? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the mystery, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more.